Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Garment Decorators Podcast. I am your host Molly with Stahls UK, and I'm thrilled to be joined by Dane Clement today from Stahls, Artwork Expert. You've seen him on the podcast before. So how are you, Dane? How are you doing?
I'm good, really good. Good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
No, anytime. I'm really excited for this episode, and even though I think it's going to be a bit of a shorter one because we've got more to talk about demonstrations than we have actual conversation as such. We're going to talk all about Dane's new artworking series today. And obviously we can discuss it to a certain extent, but then people are just going to go and have to watch the episodes, aren't they? Like, there's only so much you can do before they have to go and watch it. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we had Dane on to talk a little bit more about this series and give everyone a bit more of an understanding about what it is, why we've decided to create it. So yeah, I'm super excited to start releasing these episodes. I think everyone's going to think they're great.
Good. It was fun doing them. And I'm looking forward to the comments and things. So anybody listening, if there's something that I didn't cover that you need me to cover, you got to let me know and we'll do it again. No problem.
Yeah, this definitely isn't going to be the first of the artworking video series that we do, is it? But just for a bit of context for everyone listening, we've collaborated with Dane over at Stahls a little bit in the past. We've done lives together, we've done podcasts before, even a few videos, but there's never really been something we've done that sort of brought all of the main skills you need to print transfer artwork or to create print ready artwork, I should say. So Dane and I, when we were at, I think it was Printing United, wasn't it? It was ages ago. Right. We had the conversation. Yeah, we were like, we should do this. And 6 months later, it's finally ready. But we wanted to create something that was just everything that somebody needed to start creating heat transfer artwork, right? All of the basics, all of the common questions that we get, issues that people face. So Dane has done a brilliant job at addressing all of those issues. So do you want to give everyone a bit of a teaser as to what they can expect in this series?
Sure. So we broke them up in smaller chunks, but one of the things I think I get a lot of feedback when I do my seminars and that sort of thing, right, in my articles, as a lot of people coming into the transfer business, they're used to let's put it this way, more simplified graphics, right? 1 color, 2 color screen print transfers maybe, or they do their own vinyl cutting and that's, 1 color scenarios. Well, the DTF stuff, and that's kind of what we really focused on this series, is full color, right? So it's a whole bunch of new stuff for most people. So it's something to help teach them how to proceed down that avenue, right? It's just a whole lot of new things that you can do, I suppose, right? So, so it's a little bit of how to handle those new full color files from photos to paintings or whatever it might be. It's just, it opens the door to a lot more capabilities. So a lot more fun. I love full color. I'm the full color guy. So this is right up my alley. A lot of fun.
No, and you are the perfect person for the job as well. Can I ask you to just give everyone that's listening, for those people that maybe haven't watched the lives that we've done with you before or haven't caught up on the videos that we've done previously, because they were a while ago, they were like well over a year ago. Just give everyone a bit more of a background as to your history in art and design, because there's a reason I asked you to do this series and have you be the one to do it, because you are the expert. So give everyone a little bit of background as to how you came to be where you are with Stahls today.
All right. So, it's going to go way, way back in the time machine, because I've been doing artwork for screen printing since 1985. I think it was 85. So that's a long time, right? And started Great Dane Graphics, my business, in 1991, and we created artwork for the apparel industry. We did that all up until about what we still did. We just now, like, literally, what is today? Today's the 1st. So there you go. Today, Great Dane Graphics is officially shut down, and we're officially 100% focused on Stahls stuff. So if you go to
happened today.
So if you go to greatdanegraphics.com, it ain't dead no more, as we say down here in New Orleans.
Oh, I feel like that's the end of an era, because ever since I've known you, that's what, whenever we've done stuff together before, it's always been Dane from Great Dane Graphics.
Right. It's weird. I mean, for me, I've been doing it since 1991, so it's a history there, right? But we create artwork for apparel decorators, and when we became a Stahls company in 2012, we've been, doing it ever since, right? Just more focused on Stahls product line and that sort of thing. So yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. I teach at trade shows. I give seminars, webinars, write for the apparel decoration magazines, and I've been doing that for a long time. It's what I love to do. I almost love the teaching part, maybe a little bit more, just as much as doing the artwork, and that's saying something. So, because I have a blast doing the artwork. Here I am in my home studio. So, by the way.
Yeah, I'm always jealous of your setup. Whenever you do videos, I always just expect a screen share, but no, Dane's got a really cool background for those of you watching on YouTube.
Not on purpose. It just happens to be where I'm working, Cameras.
I think it works.
Studios that way.
Yeah. No, I think the whole enjoying teaching maybe a bit more than doing the artwork kind of comes with your experience and knowledge, though, because I'm kind of similar. Like when I first started at Stahls and I was being taught how to heat print and what transfers were and what heat presses were and all of that, I got such a buzz out of physically creating something. And now that you know all of the things that you should and shouldn't be doing and how to get the best products and how to avoid the mistakes, I get more fun out of creating videos and doing lives, teaching people how to be better. I think because you know how much it's going to benefit them. I think that's where the joy comes from. And there's no different with the series that we've just created.
Right. So I think it's basically exactly the same, because I know for a fact that a bunch of these videos that we did are going to answer specific questions, because I get them all the time. So this is legit, real, everyday, real world scenarios. So.
Exactly. So for everyone listening, some of the main issues that I wanted to make sure we addressed in this series were things that we see all the time as transfer printers when people order transfers through EasyView and we get the artwork and we go, oh, we need to go back and sort this out or get them to send it like this. We wanted to try and eliminate as much of that as we could, because not only does it make you a better business owner because you're more efficient, it means that, there isn't a delayed turnaround time on your transfers. If you send us a piece of artwork and we have to spend half a day going back and forth with you getting a different file, it's only going to delay your turnaround time, and therefore you won't be as efficient a business. So things like removing backgrounds, right, is something that's so simple and needs to be done for transfers, unless you want your design on a black or a white box on your t-shirt, which I don't think is the look everyone's going for. Needs to be done. And Dane's shown you how to do it on, I believe it was black, white, and we even did like soft edge artwork, right?
Right. It's in, a lot of times, like especially today moving forward, right? People are going to use AI artwork generators and that sort of thing. And most of them will generate on a background. It's just the way it's built. All of them except one. There's only one that will actually create artwork on a transparent background, which is awesome. But it could be a little bit more problematic for transfers. So yeah, if you're using AI artwork, if you ask it to create or generate on a white or a black background, it'll be like your kids. It'll listen to you sometimes and sometimes it won't. But it's easier to take it off of a white background and a black background, right, than anything else. So just quick tip there.
Well, I mean, I didn't know that. When we went through the list of things to do and you told me that, I was like, is it great? Let's cover that then. Like, I have no idea. I'm just as much of a beginner when it comes to artwork as everyone listening probably is. I always get our studio team to do our designs. Like, anytime that we need something for lives, I'll pull a few like inspiration boards and I'll go, can you guys maybe create something that we can print that looks like this? So I learned so much from watching the videos. And I obviously went through and like edited them all and like sorted them out to post online, and I watched all of them about 2 or 3 times to make sure the edits were right, and now I feel like a pro.
Well, you are. You got it. I think once you learn what you learn, see, it's when it sinks in, you're done. There you go.
Exactly. I think that's the thing. And because they're not overly long, they're like between 3 and 10 minutes, I would say, depending on what topic it is. They're digestible, right? Like I've seen some tutorials on YouTube and they're like half an hour long on a few things. And by the time you get 20 minutes in, you've kind of switched off anyway.
Right. Makes sense. Small chunks, That's all I can keep in my hard drive anymore. This thing's full, I got to throw away some files.
10 minutes at a time. Oh, yeah, no. So for anybody listening that wants to learn more about the series, that wants to watch it, it is going to be available exclusively on the Stahls UK YouTube channel. We are going to be releasing an episode every other week on a Thursday. So regardless of whether you're in the UK or whether you're in the US or Europe, wherever you're watching, there will be a new episode every Thursday that you can catch. And yeah, I am super excited for this. I believe there's 8 in total. So we've got a good few months worth of artworking tutorials and tips and tricks to come. But yeah, no, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, me too. Looking forward to it. Yeah, 8 weeks. That's good. That's really good.
It's good.
I didn't realize we did that, man. I had so much fun. just rolled through them, I guess. I don't know. Surprising.
Well, we'll definitely get some more, because I think as people watch them and as they start to create their own artwork, things will come up. Like you said, they'll have more questions. They'll have other things they want to know. So if you do watch them and you think, oh, I'd love to, have Dane explain this or show me how to do this, leave a comment, send us a message, and we'll add it to the very long list that we're going to get Dane to do after this one.
I'm good. I'm ready.
Cool. Okay. I think, is there anything else majorly that, obviously I know we've got the series coming out, but is there anything you can give all of our listeners in this episode that's like a sort of a must-have knowledge for when you're creating artwork for heat transfers? Because you've been doing it for a very long time. What are the things that you would be like your top 5 like must-dos when you're creating artwork for transfers?
I think probably the biggest issue would be color, right? So color profiles. And typically you'll have better luck using an sRGB color profile assigned to your files when you create them. Then that's in any program. So if you created an Illustrator, CorelDRAW, Photoshop, whatever, just use that color profile. Will allow you to get a closer, there goes my crazy dogs, sorry. It will allow you to get a closer match to the color that you're looking for. That would be one. And then next one I think would be extremely careful, or mindful at least, of soft edges, right? Those are problematic, right? It might look good on screen, but when you have it printed and you smash it down, and I have this high-tech term that I think I learned it when I was my time at MIT. That's a real good one. It's called snot, right? The adhesive stuff around the edge just looks like snot on a shirt.
It's very technical, very technical.
Yeah, that's my level of expertise. So it just looks terrible and it doesn't wash well. So all those things. So those are the 2 top of mind, most important, I think.
Yeah, one of the ones that I watched that I didn't even think about it until I saw this episode. And then after I'd watched it, I thought that's such a no-brainer for everyone. And it was the optimizing your files, where you pulled the color up in them and just went through and perfected everything. And as you were doing it, I was thinking, yeah, okay, like I can see why. But then when you compared the before and after image, the difference in the quality, and my brain straight away went to the marketing side of it. And I was like, you would be able to sell your product so much more easily when you look at the quality difference from just taking 5 minutes to, punch those colors up a little bit and sharpen up some of the edges. And it stands out so much more. And with the transfer technology these days, we have the ability to create these full color designs. Your artwork needs to be of that standard, or you're not utilizing the tech.
Exactly. So it's funny you mentioned that, because that's the most important thing I teach when I teach any class that is a full color capabilities, right? Where there's direct screen printing, transfers, dye sublimation, whatever, DTG, I don't care what they're going to decorate. If it's full color graphics, you have to do those steps. And I've been teaching them, I think, since 1995. And the curious thing is the same exact 6 steps since that long ago. I don't even know what version of software I was using at the time. But it's the same steps all the time. So when you just mentioned, take the 5 minutes to do this and that, it probably took 5 minutes for me to do the video and I'm explaining everything. But once you do it, it's a 30-second deal. You just go one after the next, you follow these 6 steps in that same order, and you get these crazy wow results. And it's always, if you look at what you start with and if you think it looks okay, it's going to look way better, and your print's going to be that much nicer. I mean, it's just no brainer, right?
Yeah. I mean, 30 seconds, that's nothing, is it? I mean, there's
No.
no excuses as to why someone shouldn't be doing that if they know how to, which they do now, thanks to your video.
Right. And as soon as they see the difference, the before and the after, they'll know it's worth 30 seconds. Easy.
Yeah. And I think the other one that really, really got to me as well was the how to set up your file and the difference in file types. I know that they're really minor things, but if you've had no experience before in this industry, in artworking, in transfers, how are you supposed to know? I didn't know what a vector file was when I first started here. People kept saying this word, and I was like, does someone want to explain to me what this means? Because I feel like I'm going to need to learn it, and I have no idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, the differences in those I think is going to help people, because it's probably something that, I don't know, maybe people are a little bit embarrassed to say, oh, I don't actually like know what this is. Can you explain it to me? Or if you're right at the beginning. But yeah, I think just we've covered all the basics. So you should be able to produce a transfer pro, produce all the good quality artwork, have it stand out from all your competitors. I think everyone's going to take a lot from this, even if whether they're beginners or, you know, just polishing up their skills.
Right. No, I think you're right. It was, I had a blast doing them. That's for sure. And I'm looking forward to the whole, some new ones, right? So, you know, let's keep them going. I'm good with that. This will be fun.
So what you're saying is I shouldn't do this as a limited drop. I should just keep it rolling and just keep sending you requests when people will let me know what they want.
I have no doubts we'll have a list this long, but to start working with. So yeah, why not? Works with me.
Oh, I hope we do. I hope people do have lots of requests and things going forwards, because I mean, you can speak to this more than I can for sure, but I guess there's so many different things you can do with artworking in Adobe these days. But it's almost like, where do you start? Like if I was to say to you, like, create, I don't know, 5 videos of your favorite effects and stuff, you'd be like, there's 100 to choose from. Like, which one do I pick first?
Right. So, you know, it is crazy. And that is a good point that you mentioned the Adobe products, right? Because that's what this series has done it. We use Illustrator and Photoshop mostly. So, you know, you can do everything that I did in the Photoshop side. You can do that in like Affinity Photo and some other programs. One day, hopefully, we'll be able to do a bunch of things in our Stahls designers, like when you get the Stahls designer and that sort of thing on your side of the world, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's still a ways from that. But I know things are being looked at and worked on because I'm involved in some of those conversations. So that's pretty exciting. But yeah, this is a Photoshop or Adobe products series. We should probably point that out because not everybody has Adobe Photoshop, but they should. It's so far, when they came out with the generative fill piece of it, which I don't even think we really did much of in this series, but there's so much capabilities there. It's insane. They've leapfrogged everybody by just a mile. It's nuts.
It's not overly expensive, is it? If I'm correct, like depending, you can get obviously like just Photoshop or you can get the package, but when you weigh up how much you're going to use it and what it's going to give you in terms of capabilities and quality, I mean, give up a few coffees a month, right? And you'll be able to pay for it.
Right. Yeah, it's a business expense, just like your phone. I mean, it's one of those things. And what I like to say, the reason I think it's so much worth whatever the money is because a couple things. One, it's the industry standard. The whole world, all the graphics industries out there use Photoshop. I mean, it even has its own verb. You know, that magazine cover was Photoshopped. You know, everything all over the place uses it. If you're going to grow your art department, right? So let's say you're wearing all the hats and you're trying to get an artist to do something. If you hire somebody in, chances are probably 90% of the time they're going to know how to use Adobe products versus anything else. It's just what they teach in most of the schools. So, excuse me.
Yeah, I think it's something that people are just going to need to invest in for their business. And you know, you can pay monthly, you can pay annually, whatever works for you. But like you say, it's the industry standard now, isn't it? So if you want to learn how to really advance your business, that's definitely the way to do it.
Right. I recommend it to everybody. Even Corel users. If you use Corel Draw and you live and die in Corel Draw, don't get rid of that and go into Illustrator. That makes no sense, right? But if you're a Corel user, use Photoshop, just Photoshop with Corel, and it works hand in hand for what it does. But it's so much. It's the best one out. Just is. So
yeah,
try it out. When they see what the capabilities are and they see how it works, I think a lot of people are intimidated in the beginning, right? They're like, oh gosh, Photoshop, so big, so hairy and scary. I like to call it, right? It can do so many things. And all we just focused on this much of it, just a little bit.
That's still how I see it. That's still, I still open it and go, whoa, okay, where do I start?
Right. But you just focus on this. What we need for our industry is a small little piece of, what its capabilities are. So.
Yeah, well, we've covered about, I don't know, like 5-10% of what we can use Photoshop for heat transfer artwork. So there's definitely going to be more to come. But I know I keep saying it, but I think this is going to be such a good like baseline for anyone that's doing heat transfer artwork. If we have any questions or, anyone comes up to us with queries, I'm just going to be like, watch all this and then come back to me with questions, because chances are it's in there somewhere.
Chances are, you're right.
Exactly. Amazing. Well, to be fair, I didn't have anything else really that I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to discuss the series with you in a bit more detail, because we haven't actually sit down and spoken about it to promote it and let people know what's happening. I've just made a very quick 2-second trailer for it, which doesn't really explain too much about what it is. So I'm glad that we sat down and did this and explained to everyone a little bit more about what is happening. And thank you again for taking the time to do it. I mean, this probably won't be the first, won't be the last, episodes that we do, but they're definitely good ones to start with.
Right. Good deal. Well, thanks for having me. I always like working with you. So, and this is a blast. So anytime, as many as you want, I'm in.
We'll keep going. You heard that, guys. Comment below all of the ones you want and we'll get Dane to make them all for you.
There we go. All right.
So Artwork for Heat Transfers is a brand new video series, and it is coming out on the 9th of May. So only 3 or 4 days from the date of this release episode, I believe, on the Stahls UK YouTube channel. So that will be available really, really soon. They're all going to be on there forever, so you can watch them back as many times as you want. Like I said, 1 episode dropping every other week, so there's plenty to come. And yeah, make sure that you're liked and subscribed so that you don't miss any of them. The links will all be in the description. Thank you very much, Dane, as always.
Hey, thanks for having me.